Long before the name of Rome echoed across the world, the land was quiet and divided among small tribes. On the banks of the River Tiber, two brothers were born, Romulus and Remus. They were left to die, but were saved and raised by a she-wolf. As they grew, the fire of destiny burned within them. They dreamed of building a city that would stand forever. But ambition is a dangerous flame. A quarrel between brothers turned to rage, and Romulus struck Remus down. From that tragedy, Rome was born. Its first breath mixed with blood and destiny. Rome began as a city of kings. Each ruler built, fought, and expanded, turning huts into temples and mud paths into roads. But the last king, Tarquin the Proud, ruled with cruelty and pride. When his tyranny brought shame and grief upon the people, the Romans rose in anger. They threw down the monarchy and swore an oath that no man would ever again rule as king. Thus, the Roman Republic was born, governed by laws, guided by senators, and guarded by the people's will. The Republic grew strong through discipline and unity. The Romans built armies unlike any the world had seen. Every soldier was trained not just to fight, but to serve the idea of Rome itself. Neighbors became allies, and allies became subjects. The Roman eagle spread its wings over Italy and beyond. Their motto was simple: conquer or be conquered. But inside the Republic, power became a force. The Senate filled with proud men who fought not for Rome, but for themselves. The rich grew richer, the poor grew restless. Ambition, once Rome's greatest strength, became its greatest threat. In this storm of politics and pride rose a man whose name would never be forgotten: Julius Caesar. Caesar was brave, brilliant, and unstoppable. He conquered Gaul, crossed mountains and rivers, and brought glory to Rome. But when he returned, he wanted more than praise. He wanted control. The Senate feared him, but the people loved him. In 49 BCE, Caesar crossed the Rubicon River, defying the Senate's orders and marching his army toward Rome. The die was cast. Civil war followed, and Caesar emerged victorious. He became dictator for life. Under his rule, the streets of Rome filled with marble, markets thrived, and soldiers were rewarded. Yet in the shadows, his enemies plotted. On the Ides of March, 44 BCE, Caesar entered the Senate surrounded by men he called friends. Moments later, they drew their daggers. The first blade struck, then another, and another. When the last blow fell, Caesar lay dead at the feet of his dream. His final words were whispered not in anger but in disbelief. The republic he sought to save had destroyed itself. Rome descended into chaos once again. War returned, brother against brother, general against general. From that darkness rose Caesar's heir, Octavian, later called Augustus. He was clever, patient, and determined. Slowly he defeated his rivals and restored order. The Senate, wary of bloodshed, gave him absolute power. And so the Republic ended, and the Roman Empire began. Under Augustus, Rome entered its golden age. Roads stretched across continents, linking lands that had never met. Trade flourished, art blossomed, and peace, Pax Romana, reigned for 200 years. The empire's borders touched 3 continents. Its legions marched beneath banners that carried the world's destiny. The Roman Colosseum stood as a symbol of power and pride, echoing with cheers and rules. From emperors like Trajan and Hadrian to Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, Rome reached heights no civilization had ever known. But no empire stands forever. Power breeds greed, and wealth breeds decay. As generations passed, emperors became puppets, and soldiers sold their loyalty to the highest bidder. Corruption spread through the Senate. The glory of Rome dimmed. Beyond its borders, new enemies watched and waited. The Goths, the Huns, and other tribes gathered strength. Then came the division. The empire grew too vast to rule as one. It was split into East and West. The Eastern Empire ruled from Constantinople and Europe. But the Western Empire, with its capital still in Rome, began to crumble. Cities fell into ruin, the army weakened, and the people lost faith in the dream their ancestors had built. In the year 410 CE, a sound echoed through history, the crash of Rome's gates as the Visigoths entered the Eternal City. For the first time in 800 years, Rome was taken by foreign hands. The world watched in silence as the empire that once ruled the earth fell to ashes. Yet even in its fall, Rome did not truly die. Its laws, its language, its spirit lived on. Every empire that rose after carried a spark of Rome within it. The Roman dream,
and so
unity,
it
strength,
rises
and
into
greatness
eternity,
became the foundation of the Western world. From a shepherd's hut beside the Tiber to the marble halls of emperors, Rome's journey was one of